Okay. Yeah, my name is secondl1ght. Go by secondl1ght online. I'm super excited to talk to you guys today about this project I've been working on. It's called BTC Map, and the idea behind it is to easily find places to spend sats anywhere you are on the planet. And my clicker's not working. Maybe I will use your clicker. I don't know why it's not working. Okay, I think it's working now. Can we restart? Okay, so like I said, I'm secondl1ght. I'm happy to be here today at Adopting Bitcoin 2022. And I'm going to talk to you guys about BTC Map, which is a project I've been working on with a few other people. So what BTC Map is about is driving the circular economy and merchant adoption. So there's really no better place to talk about this than right here in El Salvador. So the current problem is there's really nowhere to easily find places to spend your sats. The current solutions are either proprietary, they're focused on ATMs, or they include things like crypto, whatever that is. And we're doing some prelim research to see what was out there. I did find like some small hobby projects, but nothing substantial and nothing that was actively maintained. And so the third problem is actually creating and maintaining large data sets, which would be, every location in the world that accepts Bitcoin is actually a very difficult problem. And I think that is probably the biggest reason as to why a solution hasn't presented itself. So yeah, we made it 10 plus years into Bitcoin's adoption story without a map, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. And there's a bunch of reasons for that, like I just went through. Another reason is, on-chain is not exactly the best way to pay a merchant in real life. So recently, Lightning has changed the game, and that's why we think it's the right time to have a map. And it also sort of makes it real for no-coiners. If you can show them a place in their area, and there's a few locations that accept Bitcoin, it kind of makes it real for them. So that's another cool aspect to it as well. So the solution is actually Bitcoiners. It's all you guys. Bitcoiners are a special type of person, and it's going to take people like all you guys to make this effort happen, which I'll talk about in a little bit. So what did we do? We created a Bitcoin-only map. It's open source and open data, and we wanted to make it fun and build communities around it, which I'll also talk more about in a little bit. So this is just a fun little Venn diagram that one of our team members put together. You can see BTC Map is sort of the intersection of Bitcoin, open data, and maps. And there's sort of this weird thing happening right now where there's lots of Bitcoin projects using Google Maps, which I don't like to see. It's probably the easiest solution for them right now, but we're hoping to change that. And yeah, you can see OpenStreetMap at the top is one of the ways we're able to do that. So it was really important when we started this project to build it on principles that Bitcoiners would be aligned with. Otherwise, nobody would want to use it. And these principles are super important to myself. And so we didn't want to have any walled garden. There's no Google in any of the stack anywhere. There's no ads, no tracking, no data collection. No sign up is required. You can use it completely anonymously, and it's 100% free and open source software released under the AGPL 3.0 license. So how does it actually work? So what we do is we utilize OpenStreetMap as much as possible as to do a lot of the heavy lifting. They're a well-established project, and we didn't need to reinvent the wheel. And they have an open API. So we use OpenStreetMap, and we're super grateful for that. And then we created our own backend and API that is a bit faster. And it also filters out the millions of locations, billions of locations on OpenStreetMap, and it only shows the Bitcoin data, which is what we're interested in as Bitcoiners. So the third part of it is we needed to actually leverage the Bitcoin community to maintain the data set. So BTC Map is a small team. We're not going to be maintaining the data set for the whole world. This only really is going to work if every community comes together to take ownership of their data, which I'll talk more about in a little bit. And then we finally display those locations in nice-looking free and open source apps so that you guys can use them. And so our apps are available across all platforms, web, Android. The main option we'd recommend is using F-Droid, which is a free and open source app store alternative to the Play Store. You can also get the APK direct from our GitHub. And if you haven't quite removed Google from your life yet, that's okay. We still have a Play Store option. And also the iOS version, I would say, is more like alpha, beta at this point. It hasn't had as much love as the other applications. So if you know any iOS developers out there, please get in touch with us, and we'd love to have you contribute. So yeah, now I just want to show you guys the map. For this talk, I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to be showing you guys the web app. So it might look a little bit different depending on if you're using Android or Apple or whatever else. But yeah, so this is it. This is the map here. It looks like you would expect. So you have all the locations except Bitcoin. There's like a search bar at the top you can use to find locations near you. There's a geolocate button to locate yourself. And nothing weird happens there. Like, we're not sending data home to our servers. Like, everything happens locally on your own device. So yeah, if you click on a location, Good Beans Coffee Company, I think they're not too far from here. You get all the information you'd expect to see, the address, the opening hours. You can visit their website. You can see this place explicitly accepts Lightning. And there's a survey date of recently, and has a little check mark. So you know that it was recently checked by somebody. So it's likely that the data is up to date and current. And so how do you actually get added to the map? So if you accept Bitcoin, you want people to find you. So I'll walk you guys through the two ways to do that. It's sort of two categories. There's a noob form we have on our website, which is you can fill it out in a few seconds, and somebody will add the data to OpenStreetMap for you. Or if you want to take it to the next level, become a shadowy super tagger, then you can add the data directly to OpenStreetMap yourself. And I'll walk you guys through how that works. So this is the add location form on the website. So it's a pretty simple form. You drop a pin on the map, and you fill out some information like the merchant name and things like that. And like I said, it'll be submitted, and I'll show you guys that in a second. And the other form we have on our website is the verify location form, which is equally as important as adding locations. We need to make sure this is a high quality data set for it to be useful. So if you visit a location and they don't actually accept Bitcoin anymore, you can simply submit a verification form, and then it'll be removed from the map. Might want to check with the owner, because there has been a few scenarios where like somebody will go in, try and spend Bitcoin. Turns out like whoever's at the till doesn't know how to use it, so they might still accept Bitcoin, but there are cases where they no longer do, and then they'll be removed. So yeah, this is the verify location form. If everything's up to date, you can also just check a box and let everyone know. So that survey date I showed in the pop-up, it's good to have that as recent as possible to let other users know that there's a good chance that this information is accurate. And if it's not, you can fill out what is inaccurate, and we can update that information. And so once you submit a location, you get a little success screen here, and you'll notice that you get an actual GitHub issue opened where you can track the status of your submission. And so then what happens after that? So that's when the super taggers, all you guys, come to the rescue and do a little bit of the heavy lifting. And so this is the BTC Map data GitHub, and I just opened up the issues tab here, and you can see all the issues. They're tagged with a location submission or a verification submission. You can see that there's a country assigned to them. So if you're only interested in contributing to areas within your local area, you can do that. So let's just walk through adding one. So this is Bacon Creek Farm, which just submitted location. And so I don't know if you guys can read that or not, but they're organic regenerative farms. So you can see there's a little link there, and it'll actually open up OpenStreetMap to that location, so you can start editing it and add it to the map. And so when you click on the link, this is the screen you'll see. So I dropped a pin right on their driveway there, and you can start adding the location information, the name, the address. You can see the payment methods. They said they accept Lightning and on-chain, so I added those. And I just want to highlight the tags, because this is the most important part for getting the location to actually show up on BTC Map. And so the main tag we're looking for is currency XBT equals yes. And so if that tag is present, then it'll show up on BTC Map when we sync with the OpenStreetMap servers, which happens every 10 minutes. Then there's some other optional tags that we still encourage people to add, is if they accept Lightning, you can say payment Lightning equals yes, and also a survey date, which I already talked about. And so the next page is you can add a change set comment. So every change in OpenStreetMap has something called a change set, and the OpenStreetMap maintainers can review those and revert them if they need to. And so this comment just lets them know, like, hey, what was the change there? So I just said I added an organic regenerative farm, and then the next step is you just simply click upload, and then that's it. So it only takes about 5 to 10 minutes. It's not really a complicated process, but yeah, we do understand that some merchants are busy. They don't want to learn how to use OpenStreetMap, so that's why we also have the form submission to go that route. So you can actually watch Bitcoin adoption happen live on BTC Map. So like I said earlier, we sync up with OpenStreetMap every 10 minutes. And we have some cool statistics on the site, a dashboard. You can see like total number of locations, the amount created in the last 24 hours, things like that. And we got some charts. Bitcoiners, we like charts, so there's a bunch of charts you can see on there. You can see the total location number go up. You can see the bottom one is up-to-date locations. So those are ones that have been verified within the last year. And there's actually an activity feed, so you can watch the submissions come in live as they happen. And so you can see each row has the location, the action, whether it was updated, created, deleted, and the user. And I'll show more about the user in a second. And you can actually see on the right there's a tip button. And so we wanted to make it possible for the super taggers to receive sats for their work. So you can simply click that button, it'll open up a Lightning wallet, and you can send them tips. And so we want to make it like as fun as possible. And so you can actually receive recognition for your contributions by, like I said, earning sats. We have badges that'll show you guys and basically become a legend in the Bitcoin mapping community. The important things to note are anyone can participate. It's kind of a new way to get involved in Bitcoin open source that doesn't require any technical skills. You can do it in your spare time, and you can do it by yourself. You can do it with friends. So it's sort of fun, and we tried to make it as fun as possible. So you can see Bill from Bitcoin Island here. Bitcoin Island is in the Philippines. He said, I just grabbed a six-pack and started tagging. So he went crazy. He tagged 300 plus locations and essentially tagged the entire island himself. So you can have a lot of fun with it. We have stuff like, trying to gamify it a little bit, make it a little competitive, even though it's all for fun. So we have a leaderboard. You can see the leaderboard here. You highlight the top 10 taggers in this graph here, and then you can see below is you'll see a list of all the taggers. So this is Saunter. Oh, there we go. This is Saunter. He was the top tagger at the time I took the screenshot. He's since been replaced by another guy, but he just got back from vacation and said he's going to keep on tagging to try and regain his spot. So you can see he's earned some badges there, and we tried to have some fun with the badges. So we made them sort of Bitcoin themed. You can see the last badge there is Chancellor badge, stuff like that. And then you get a breakdown of the amount of contributions you've made and the type, so like created, deleted, updated. You get a little pie graph showing your distribution, and you actually get your own activity feed where you can see a history of your activity. And then you also get your own personalized map, so you can actually see like, hey, where are all the places that I contributed to. So that's kind of a cool visualization there. So taking it the next step, is we have all these meetups around the world. Like I was saying, we need every meetup, every community to take ownership of their local data. It's the only way this scales. This is totally open source. So that's what we're hoping will happen, and we're already starting to see that, which is pretty cool. So you can organize a mapping expedition at your next meetup. You can try and onboard new merchants. You can verify existing ones. And so that's where the communities section comes in. So we have all these communities, meetups, popping up all over the place. Bitcoin Island, Philippines. I saw Bitcoin Lake, Guatemala as well, speaking at this conference. So it makes sense, like, where are these places? I don't know. Like, where are they on the map? So let's get them mapped, and let's put them somewhere where you can actually get in touch with them and get involved if you want. So this is the communities page, and you can see a breakdown by continent. Like right now, it's pretty heavy in Europe, so I'd like to see that like a little more distributed. But that's all right for now. And yeah, you can see it's simply broken down by continent. It's just a simple page. Each community gets their own card, and you can get in touch with them, whether it's Twitter, Telegram, Discord. And when you click on the link, it'll actually open up the community on the map. And so when you actually get in touch with the community members on the ground, it kind of opens up lots of possibilities. So for instance, this is a vendor on Bitcoin Island, Philippines. And Bill from Bitcoin Island reached out to us and said, like, hey, all of our vendors are using Pouch, which is a wallet, and they all have usernames with public URLs. So it'd be super cool if we could put a pay button on the map. And I thought that was super cool. So that's what we did. We had a pay button here. And so you click it, and it'll open up their page, and you can send whatever the amount is, so 100 pesos, and it'll show a QR code, and then you can pay it from any Lightning wallet. And so you can start a payment flow from your own device, which is kind of cool in and of itself. You can also, it also enables async payments. So like, it's sort of an edge case, but you could see a scenario like, hey, maybe you're at a bar, you want to get your bill and then like socialize a bit more, and then pay and then leave whenever you want. So the waiter, the waitress could bring your bill, and then you can pay it whenever you want and leave without any further interaction. You can also pay remotely. So Bill actually brought a bunch of necklaces back with him, and he gave me one. And then I asked him who the vendor was, and I sent them some sats for the necklace last night. So that's kind of cool. And it also enables like donations. So I was thinking something like, say there's like a hurricane or a natural disaster, we could highlight that area on the map, and then if you wanted to, you could send some sats to like all the merchants that were affected. So yeah, we have some documentation. We have a general wiki and an API wiki. Both of those are on GitHub. And you can actually integrate your own applications with our data through our API, or you can even directly embed BTC Map in your own apps. And if you have any questions, reach out, and we'd be happy to walk you through it. And I wanted to highlight a new integration that is from Wallet Satoshi. I think they are the biggest Lightning wallet out there. If not, they're pretty close. And they have decided to put BTC Map in their own app under the Find Merchants and ATMs button. And so you can simply click that, and it'll open up a map, and you can find places to spend your sats, which is super cool. So I'm super excited about that. And thanks for Wallet Satoshi for being one of the first wallets to integrate. And so I wanted to do a few feature previews for you guys. So like just a quick couple things. The community pages, that we want to take communities like a step further. So you would get your own page instead of just the directory. So there's lots of things we can do there. Boosting locations with sats. So you could have a boost button on the locations to make them highlight or stand out from the other locations. And it would sort of act as like another step of verification. Like if you're a merchant or if you're a customer, you can boost your location, and you know someone has spent some sats to boost this place. And then country statistics, like we have all this data, and it would be super cool to start ranking countries like on Bitcoin adoption. So like that's something I really want to get done. And yeah, I think we'll be able to visualize that in a super cool way with like charts and stuff like that. And then it's like, what do you guys want as well? Like, we're totally open source, so you can submit a feature request or reach out to us on like any of the channels. and it's really like, what do you guys want? Because you're the ones using the map. So the core team is just a small team. It's myself and 2 other guys, Nathan and Igor. And the reason I wanted to highlight this is because it's pretty cool. We don't know each other. We're working totally remotely, asynchronously, and we come together, and just like tons of other Bitcoin open source projects, we're able to take an idea and turn it into something in a relatively short amount of time. So I just want to encourage all you guys, if you have an idea brewing, reach out, find developers, designers, whatever you need, and turn your idea into reality. And it's the power of open source. So it's pretty special. So just a quick background of how it started. Igor basically created the original Android app. Oh, 5 minutes? Okay, I'll try and go a bit quicker. And then Nathan was at a conference. He couldn't find places to spend sats, so he put a team together to fix this. I saw a tweet on Twitter, and I was like, hey, I'd like to get involved. And then we launched the stack. So yeah, again, just assemble your own open source team and start building. So just to recap, a few ways everyone can get involved is you can add and verify locations. You can contribute as a developer or designer. You can onboard merchants in your area. You can create a community. You can integrate with us, and you can simply spread the word and use the apps. If you want to support with sats, there's a few ways you can do it. You can tip the super taggers. You can donate to OpenStreetMap, which, like I said, we heavily rely on them, and they actually accept Bitcoin donations, which is super cool. You can open a Lightning channel with us, or you can donate to BTC Map if you'd like as well. And we have had a couple companies sponsor the project, and I wanted to give a huge shout out to CoinOS because we would not be where we're at today without their sponsorship. They came up early and supported the development of the project, and that's really like the sole reason we are where we are. And also recently, Wallet of Satoshi came on as a sponsor, and so I'm super grateful for that, as well as their integration is also super cool. And we had a couple communities as well want to send us a few sats. So Bitcoin Island Philippines and BTC Curacao, they both wanted to send us some sats because they thought the project was cool. And so I want to thank both those guys, and I definitely want to go check out their Bitcoin communities at some point. And lastly, I just wanted to thank the Bitcoin Map community. Like I said, this project will only succeed with a robust, distributed, and enthusiastic mapping community to manage and maintain the data. And so thanks to all the shadowy super taggers, as we call them. And finally, OpenStreetMap, just for their incredible contributions to open source and open data. Building a project like that would be a serious undertaking, and luckily they have already done it, and they have an API, and so you can use it to build stuff. And that's pretty much all I got, and we have Twitter and GitHub and Discord, and you can find us all there. Thanks.